everybody. Welcome back to Pro-Carry Trucker. Another installment of the history videos. Today we are on the Currency Act of 1764. Printed out my pamphlets, highlighted what I wanted, copied down in my notebook what I wanted. I did miss something I think it'd be good to start out with. The Currency Act of 1764 was actually just an extension of the Currency Act of 1751. The Currency Act of 1751 basically prohibited the creation of any new currency being printed in the New England colonies. So we're not talking North Carolina, South Carolina. I don't know if Vermont's considered New England or not. I'd have to check into that. But it prohibited the production of new currency in the New England colonies, where troublesome bills were being printed. However, it allowed for current bills that were already in circulation to be used for public debts, such as to the British government, but no longer allowed to be used for personal debts, such as merchants. The bills were only accepted for personal debts to be paid in British currency or silver and gold. Then we're moving on to the Currency Act of 1764. One thing it does is it expands from the New England colonies to all British-controlled colonies. The Currency Act of 1764 was a law passed by the British Parliament to regulate the issue and legal tender status of paper money in the colonial economy. This act was an extension of the 1751 Currency Act. Hang on here a second. Keep my timeline on top. Actually, I'm going to need that timeline in a minute. British law banned the minting of coins and the issue of official government money in America. To avoid this restriction, colonial government issued bills of public credit, legally not official money. Bills of credit were backed by tax collection and privately by land and property. I found something that I'm going to give my personal opinion on. It states debts, either private or public, require money for payment. I believe a private debt can be paid I go get a pound of bacon off of whoever. Do I have the money? If I don't have the money to pay for it, why not trade or work for that? Provide a service to pay for that. And I believe that went on a regular occurrence back then. I could be wrong, like I said, this part is my opinion, but we'll go on with what I found printed. See if I can find here. I had wrote down where I got my information from, and now I can't remember where I wrote it at. It was not Wikipedia, I can tell you that. section here. Debts, either private or public, require money for payment. Gold and silver coins that flowed into the colony from exports, stuff they had going out, they received money for, export transactions. That money was promptly used to pay for import stuff coming into the colonies, leaving very little currency for local businesses. This shortage of currency encouraged colonial governments to accept a wide variety of specie as form of payment for taxes. Private businesses such as merchants and shopkeepers had no choice but to accept payment in whatever form. What did the act, let's see, where is it back here? Yeah, what did the Stamp Act do? For one, it banned colonial paper money as legal tender in private transactions. Colonial paper money was accepted for public debt payments such as provincial taxes. You say provincial, wait a minute, we got states. No, you got to remember, we were still controlled by Great Britain at the time. They were considered provinces, such as in Quebec, or in Canada. Quebec is not a state, it's a province. Ontario is not a state, it's a province. Newfoundland is not a state, it's a province, which leads back to the British control of that area. It prohibited the extension of paper bills beyond its debt of redemption. I'm not sure I quite understand that, but the Currency Act did not place limits on the amount of paper money in circulation and on the period of redemption. I don't know if maybe the money back then was only, once it was printed, it was only good for so long, or what. But, we'll get down here, but the last thing I really found of interest, consequences. Opposition to the 1764 Currency Act started immediately. Colonial governments positioned its repeal as the post-war economic slowdown was being felt in most colonies. So you can just imagine, the colony just went through this war. It put a hardship on them. Now, the British government is saying, okay, we're not going to allow you to have currency to start building back up. We're not going to enable you to have currency to buy things that may now be more readily available, but we're not going to let you afford them. We're not going to allow you to have currency to easily pay for goods and services. You can see where the Currency Act started to irate the colonies. Wasn't a whole lot on the Currency Act as far as what I could find it. A lot of it, about every time I clicked on a link or whatever, a lot of it came back up with the Stamp Act, which that was March 22nd, 1765. So that will probably be the next video I do. If the Stamp Act kind of coincides with the Currency Act, my next video I may just kind of brush up on it and then get right into the Quartering Act of 1765. The Quartering Act of 1765 is quite relevant, so I will be covering it. I'm pretty sure I'll find a lot more information and get a little bit more detail on it. I appreciate you watching. I'd appreciate the thumbs up. I know this one ain't the best, but I did what I could. hit that bell if you haven't done so, get the notifications, and we will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.